Alright, we're back on the Morris. We're just having a look at making a bracket for the alternator adjustment. So I've got the new alternator in there, and this little bracket, when I cut this out of steel, and will come along somewhere like that, and it gives me my little range of motion there to adjust and tighten the fan belt. So we have some 6mm plate that I traced out my design on, and yeah, just go from there. We'll see if the old plasma cutter can cut this, and all freehand, we'll see what happens. Yeah, freehand, not so good, but we'll grind it up and see if I can make something out of it. So I might buy a little while. Yep. I just realised that I haven't really shown you what I'm doing. It is another day. So this is the bracket for the alternator adjustment. So all I did, obviously you saw me plasma cutting that out. It was a little rough. I should have made a better template to trace around. So freehand was a bit, was a bit ordinary, and I've had a lot of grinding since, which I didn't bore you with. So I drilled a series of holes for the slotted section, and then I used the angle grinder just to sort of meet the holes up and pop the center out, if that makes sense, or take the middle section out to create my slot. So now I'm just using a carbide burr in the die grinder just to take down some of the excess material, and then I'll probably file up the finish and try and get it as neat and nice looking as I can. And then I have to, probably using the cardboard template that I started with, put that back on the car, get the bracket that's already on the front of the engine. I'll have to locate where I can bolt to that, or make a bracket to bolt to that. Still don't know how far out this alternator, the new alternator, is going, because I have to align the two pulleys, and then I can work out my spacing for this. So yeah, that's next, and yeah, so we're moving along. Righto, back on the alternator bracket. It's been a little minute. I've had some renos I had to get done while the weather was good. Took a couple of days off work and got a bit of that done. So here we are, back on the old alternator bracket. So I've just been cleaning up the slot. I've just got to get that a bit smoother in there, and just so it slides a bit easier. And the next little step will be, I've got to make some spaces for the alternator itself on the car. So just so I can line up the pulleys, and then I can come back to the bracket and fit it where it's got to go. So I think that's our next step. So I'll give you a quick look at the alternator. So at the moment I've just got it spaced out with some nuts. It's obviously not done up, it's loose. I've got to get that squared to the other pulley and aligned to the other pulley, and then I can make a mount or make a bracket to bolt my adjuster bracket that I've made. So that'll go on there, and that's where we are. So we will continue. I'm just going to make some nice flat spaces out of some flat bar, and yeah, we'll get on with it. Alright, so with a little bit of mucking around and a string line, now this isn't perfectly in the right spot, but I don't know if you can see that, but we're roughly in the middle of that sprocket, pretty much, or in that pulley, sorry, and we're nowhere near it down the bottom of that pulley. So I'm going to have to actually remake that original bracket that's in there that I was trying to space out. So I need to go back towards the engine at the top to line up with the pulley down the bottom. So yeah, I think the next step, well, the next best thing would be to make that bracket again, moving it in and then getting it as close as I can, and then maybe just shimming it with washers or something. And see how we go. So I think that's the best step to move forward, and it'll eliminate some of this because I'll make it the right width, and it'll still bolt to the engine here. It'll just have to be yeah, I'll just have to manufacture that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that's the easiest way out of this. Yeah, alright. Righto. So here's what we got. I can actually reuse the spacer blocks I cut for the other mount, for this mount when I originally tried it. It's going to be a little bit longer, of course, and that will fit. Whoop, that will fit just over here. Originally it was a lot narrower, so it's going to be a lot wider, but that gives me the bolt clearance to actually bring this out where I want it, or back in, whichever way I had to go. Out, I think. And yeah, so I'll weld these on as square as I can, and we'll put it all back up on the car, on the engine, run my string line again, work out where this is going to position, mark my holes from underneath, and yeah, we should be pretty good as long as I get the faces of the pulleys pretty square and aligned and central to each other. I can't see any problems with it. Certainly not going to look like the old bracket, but I don't want to cut this one up. I think I'll just yeah, I'll stick with these. I can round it off a little bit to make it less obvious, but yeah, just in case I go back, but I doubt it. Alright, well, guess we'll have a crack at this. So that looks all right. I'll let that cool down a bit. I'll clean it up. We'll get it back on the car, and it's flaming hot. And yeah, see how we did. See if we can get this alternator back on. Righto. So we've got it back in the car. It's only clamped for now, so I'm just aligning these sprockets. I've only just run a string line for now. Got pretty much where I want to be, and then it will be just aligning the faces to make sure they're square to each other, and so I can mark up my holes and drill them. And yeah, then the next step is back to the adjusting bracket, which I've still got to work out exactly where I'm going to mount that. The old mount is in here, so, and it can pivot, so I might be able to just make a new bracket and have it come round. I'm pretty sure I'll be doing something like that, or over the top. I can't remember which way I had it. I've tried it both ways, one worked better. Anyway, so that's where I'm going to probably leave this one, and yeah, that's sort of all we got for now, till the next one, I suppose.